I'm going to make a rear subframe brace with this piece of aluminum rod. Now that's just one I had spare. It's actually part of a hydrofoil, but it's just alloy, and we can drill it, and we're going to put it in and basically make what's also called a Pedro bar. But Pedro can't ship to us in Australia because of COVID, so we're going to make our own. So what is this bar we're going to make, you ask? Okay, I'll tell you. So the rear subframe, part of it comes down here where the sway bar is attached. The other part over here where the sway bar comes down is attached. Isn't connected across the middle by anything other than this little plate, and you can see how flimsy that is. I can bend it with just one finger. So what we're going to do, we're going to, that bolt there, we're going to tie in to that bolt there, effectively completing the square across with the bar. But we're going to do it on the top. See where there's a, so what that bolt is, that's a captive bolt. So we got to undo it and knock it up with a hammer to get it out, the stud out of its little seating. And then we'll put a bolt in from the top. So there is the bar, just to kind of get the length of it. So the distance between the edge of the bolt to the edge of the other bolt is 74 centimeters. But seeing how this already has some holes in it, we're going to reuse them. Well, not exactly. We're going to make them bigger, but they're already drilled, so that's taken a bit of work out of it. And that should be short enough to clear the end. So we're going to use that hole there, and we're going to measure off where we're going to cut it, which would be approximately in line with that big hole there in the center. And then we'll mark and drill. We'll drill a pilot hole, then a big hole. So we need to get M10 hardware through. These big holes are only for M8, and the smaller ones are M6 in this. But we need to drill that. So we got to make some marks, and we'll cut to length. Okay, I've been measuring up, trying to get between the bolts and stuff, but I think the easiest way to do it is when we're going to take this plate off, which we have to take off anyway. It's just a couple bolts. And then that will be a template for us. So all we'll do is measure off that. We can don't have to be into the car. We can put it on the bench, and we can cut our other bar to length. We'll just cut that with a hacksaw, or maybe an angle grinder, probably just a hacksaw, and use the holes in this as a template to drill it out. So we'll get taking this off. It's just, I think there they look like 13 mils. 1, 2 there. We got to do 2 here with that bar, and I see 2 more down here, and that should take it off. We can make it a lot easier to work if we got that off. Once we loosen these, it was much easier with get the brake bar on them. Go, and we got to get those 2 right up there. These are bolts, the rest are nuts. There's a few more bolts to take off than what I first thought. So these braces here have to come off. So I thought we could just undo the 2, but obviously we can't. If there were bolts, we could have slid out the under tray, but because there were nuts on the end of a stud, we can't slip it over it. So we got to do another 1, 2, and then another bolt up here, 3 bolts, and then this whole piece can come off. So that will be our template to drill the holes right there. There's one hole, the other hole, so we can line that up and put it through. We'll give this a big clean up first, and then we'll start measuring and drilling. This bar, just gotta make some marks for size. line up the holes roughly. And cut. There we go, got some bolts in, using that as a template, and we're lined up, so that should fit straight on. There we go, our version of a Pedro bar. Okay, so that's the stud we gotta pull out, and then the way to do it is wail on it. Out. Now we've got replacements to go in there. And now we just gotta get the bang studs out. Now we gotta get it in there. So to get it in there, we need a little room, and to do that, we just gotta drop the sway bar by undoing the sway bar links here. Now these might be pretty tight. Nope, they're not. Okay. So we got that one out, and this one's completely undone, so it's a lot more. That's kind of all you're gonna have to use actually. Okay, got our bar. Should be able to just slide it in there now. Yep. There we go. Just had to pull the lever back there. Okay, now should go. Now we've got a bolt, M10s, got a washer on. Don't know if you need a washer, but got one. And that's the wrong way to do it. Okay, reinstalling this tray. It's gonna be a pain in the butt, but we'll get it going. Okay, let's get that started. Just keep it up on one side. Go. Now, I have seen this a bit of a problem on some videos, more so getting it off than getting it on, but I just can't get it lined up, so it must be a little bit bent here. I'll get a screwdriver and I'll see if I can leverage it over. Okay, there we go. Just got it over just over the end. Wouldn't you know, I've got them in the wrong side, so I'll have to swap those over. Awesome. Okay, we got these flipped around the right way now, and we can go about putting some of the nuts on to at least hold them in position. Won't tighten anything up until we're all just all secure, but nuts on here. Now we don't need a washer on that side. This one I'm going up through the bottom, as you see. It needs to be a lot easier to fit. There we go. That is in there. We need to get a few turns on that. We can just get in the top with a wrench. Are all good. So we got a wrench, socket, and we'll start. Oh, got a few more of these to go back on. Okay, now that is a much bigger one. That's a 17 now. Slide this in over the top. Oh, not enough clearance with the exhaust. Okay, gotta go this way. Let's get the box end in. There we go. Okay, that is it. Tighten everything back up, and you're done. We have our own version of the Pedro Techno bar. That cost us the price of a set of bolts because they had that metal lying around. So well done to us. That's keeping it pretty cheap.